We're going to move on to our next subject, and this is something that I heard about, and I remember when this show came out initially. It's called Die Hart, if you will. Die Hart. When I first heard of it, I thought, this sounds interesting. It's Kevin Hart. It's John Travolta, and it was originally released on the platform Quibi. Now, Quibi was a platform that came out during the pandemic, and they had this, all these people putting like millions and millions of dollars in this. It was supposed to be a streaming website thing on your phone. They were shooting the whole thing vertical, as you see me now, as opposed to a normal horizontal landscape that most TV shows are done through. And they're supposed to be short 7-10 minute episodes, and that was it. Well, they shot this whole show. They put it on Quibi. Quibi bombed bad. Quibi did not do well. People just did not buy in it. They didn't subscribe. It didn't work out. They had all this original content that just didn't go really anywhere. Well, this was one of their best hit shows, Die Hart. And now Amazon is picking it up and changing it and forming it into a new product. And here's a little bit about what's happening with this show, Die Hart.
The movie is a condensed version of the series, which follows Kevin Hart playing a fictionalized version of himself, as he sets out to pivot away from being pigeonholed as comedy wingman to be taken seriously as an action movie star. Kevin Hart attends Action Hero School, run by Ron Wilcox, played by John Travolta, where he attempts to learn the ropes on how to become one of the industry's most coveted action stars.
Yeah, I thought this was actually really funny. I started watching because they have a bunch of their stuff up on YouTube. It's also on Roku now. But they're taking that season, which is like a bunch of, like I said, 7-8 minute episodes, and they're combining into one feature film now. So it's already shot. It's already done. They're just re-editing it for Amazon, and it'll be on Prime Video. And I thought that was kind of good because a lot of people didn't see this. And watching the trailers and then actually seeing a little bit of the episodes, it's pretty funny. It's pretty much Kevin Hart playing himself, being like, I want to be an action star, And Travolta's this big, like, it kind of reminds me of when you do stunts in this town. They have these boot camps where you go there and you actually learn how to be a stunt performer, because a lot of people don't know how to take bumps. They don't know how to do it right. They have pros that come in and teach them. So it seemed like that kind of camp, that they were touching on that, but instead it's to be an action star. And they're putting him through the ringer, and they're actually having him do, like, he thinks it's real life. Things are happening in real life, but they're shooting it, and they're showing people being like, look, this is him being an action star, can work. Oh, it looks pretty funny. So Sabrina, you hear about this. Have you heard the show before? Have you heard of Quibi? And what do you think about the actual show? Do you think it's a great idea? And you think it's great that they're putting it into a movie?
I heard about Quibi like when it came out, and I remember seeing like not a billboard, but like, at the bus stop, they have those posters basically. And I remember seeing Kevin Hart and John Travolta, and I was like, what movie is this? Because of course, who doesn't want to see Kevin Hart and John Travolta together?
It sounds great.
So I came home and Googled it, and I found out that it was like weird little 7-minute episodes on this new platform called Quibi. So I kind of was like, well, obviously I'm not going to get this thing. And who wants to watch 7 minutes of anything? That's and then it's over. I didn't realize it was like a series of episodes. But I watched the trailer for it, and it actually looks really funny. I like Kevin Hart a lot. I think he's hilarious. And I could take or leave John Travolta depending upon the movie, but it seems like he's pretty funny in this. So I would definitely check it out.
If you watch the trailer alone, it's like, it's funny because they're like, he shows up at this boot camp. And I don't know if you saw this, Jake, but he shows up at the boot camp, and he's like, there's no sexual favors or something here. There's no sleep with anybody. There's no going down on anybody. There's none of that. And he's like, well, how many people are here? He's like, it's just me.
Yeah. He was selling him. He was like winding him up for something, and then he's like, but I'm the one who's here. So
I'm the one who's here, right? Yeah. You see this, Jake? Does this look funny to you? Do you think this is a great concept? And do you think it's good that they're actually changing it into a movie right now for a broader audience?
It almost sounds like they didn't have a choice. If it didn't work for Quibi, and they're like, well, what do we do with this now? Well, re-edit it, turn it into a movie. It's a smart move, I think, to do it. And yeah, I think I'd watch it because I too like Kevin Hart, and I laugh whenever I see him doing something. I don't know if you guys saw the tortilla slap when him and The Rock spitting water at each other.
Yes.
That was great.
About Pete when I was watching that. So, yeah, I think it's a good move. And I think it's pretty clever that they can, it's amazing what you can do if you have all this raw footage and it's edited a certain way. It just shows you the power of that tool that you can turn into a film, So I think that's what they're doing, right? Is that what you said they're
Yeah.
doing? Okay.
Yeah, turning into a film.
Yeah.
And that's what it is also kind of cool just because it's like you look at it and look at the two big actors right here. And they joke about The Rock too, about how he's in The Rock's shadow kind of. And he's like, I'm good too.
Maybe they can throw a tortilla slap in there at the end somewhere.
Perfect. Yeah. After he's done
just like
mine, it could just like tortilla can just fall.
I hope they just spend just a little bit of money and just shoot at least one scene with The Rock where they can have something if he's not in already, which I don't think he is. So if you take something, just tie that together to make that joke like a button at the end of the whole movie, that might be fun.
Yeah.
But it does look really, really funny. And the little bit I watched, you can watch some on YouTube. I guess Roku again. There's a bunch of it on Roku, or just wait for the movie at this point because I feel like they're gonna find all the best moments and then put it all together in one big, hour and a half, 2-hour movie. And what's funny is it's like the episodes are so short. They might just literally just put them in a timeline, be like 1 episode, 2 episodes, 3, 5, and just stack them up together. And it might just be an hour and 20 minutes and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So it might just be easy to make it a movie without cutting anything out. They might not be able to cut anything out. So it might be great. I think it's an actual smart idea for this platform because it did not get seen. A lot of people did not pick up on Quibi. So why not? It's great material. You got 2 big actors in it. It makes sense. Mm-hmm. And Travolta looks really funny in it too. And Travolta doesn't do a lot of comedy stuff, but he's great. He's great in it. He's just sporting that bald head now, He's letting it rock.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Well, and when
it didn't look bad. It didn't look bad.
No, I didn't realize it was. I was listening to the voice, and I thought, "Wow, that sounds like Travolta." And I was up my phone, obviously, which I'm trying to see things like this. So, but yeah, and then I realized it was him. I was like, "Oh, cool, that's interesting." So,
yeah, it'll be good to see. Mm-hmm. What's everybody think out there? Are you excited about this? You excited to see Die Hard? Did you watch the show before and you're like, hey, this would be great to see it someplace else, and maybe it'll get some more fans, and maybe it'll lead to a part 2. You never know. Leave us some comments. We'll get back to you.